Hello everybody, Ian Robson, welcome back to an episode of, let me just turn this cup first, Coffee with Ian. I was a little concerned there, I might tip it on myself. Anyways, hope everybody's having a good week thus far. Our days are getting, well, the daylight's getting shorter here where I am in Ontario. But fall is we're well into fall now. Coming up in November, so we might start getting some snow sticking on the ground soon. Let's see what the temperature is like today for those people who live in the south. Today it's 2 degrees Celsius with a high of 5 degrees Celsius. Fahrenheit, it's 35 degrees Fahrenheit with a high of 41, to give you an idea. So that's what we're looking at in terms of temperature over the next day. So we'll see how that turns out. Which means snow for us, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending how you look at it. So anyways, I'm hoping to do some fishing still. The fishing is a lot slower now, but this is when you catch the really big fish. I haven't been out in it feels like forever, but it hasn't really been that long. Maybe a week or something like that, because I was out last weekend. Oh no, maybe I wasn't actually, because we had a wedding. Yeah, I guess it has been a couple weeks then. So hopefully I'll be able to get out soon. Looks like maybe next weekend, November 3rd. I've caught some pretty big smallmouth in November, so it's definitely worth getting out there and just enjoying it if you get a nice sunny day. So anyways, moving on away from fishing into farm sim. They released a couple new fact sheet Fridays. Where is that? So I guess they're going to have some Manitous in there, and for the first time they're going to have a forklift, which is pretty cool. It'll be cool to see how that plays out. I don't know. Hopefully it works well. I know that it, at least in previous games, forklifts haven't really been super great to use. So we'll see how they work in 19. Hopefully it's better. Of course, in the video, they make it seem really easy and easy to use and all that jazz, and it moves nicely. The forklift stuff moves nicely, but I'm actually thinking about how it's going to be with, like, actually getting a pallet and lifting up and all that jazz. So I guess if you want to transport seed via pallets, you can do that with your forklift now, I guess. So I don't know. I don't foresee myself doing it a whole lot, because I didn't like it in 15 or 17. But I guess for people who want to take it to the next level and go through all that, I guess that's definitely doable. So definitely an option. It's pretty cool that they're adding it though. So because there have been some forklifts in the game, but they've been a little buggy. Another thing they added is, or they talked about, is the Fendt Favorite 500, an older style Fendt, which is pretty cool to see actually. So, and a Strautmann, how I say it at least, trailer, which is kind of neat. So it's nice that they're adding some of the older tractors in there. From Deere, I don't know, I haven't seen anything from Deere yet. From Case, they had an older one, and now they have an older Fendt Favorite 500, it looks like. So apparently people are messaging me on Discord here. So those are two things they showed us. Is there anything else? I can't remember if there's another picture. No, so they didn't show that. But in another post, not a Fact Sheet Friday, so they had a picture of a 6250R in Farm Sim. And or not in farm, well, in Farm Sim and in real life. So they're just showing that at is that Gamescom at the PGW, which I'm not sure what that something. Don't know that one. Another Fact Sheet Friday they showed us was the FR780, which is of course the forage harvester, which I do like that forage harvester. The FR850 we have right now, so it's cool that they have a smaller version of it now. And then they also added the JCB Fast Track, which is good to see they're adding the Fast Track back in again. And the Krampe Quality on Wheels, KS950. So it's good to see some variation here. Oh, that's a big one, actually. So they got a Case Puma series. They just say Puma series, or Puma, depending on who you're talking to. 165 to, or 225 horsepower, 270 horsepower. Nice, that's pretty big. And then they also have a gigantic Bradle K165, which spreads width of 12 meters. That's it. That seems really narrow, but I guess it carries a lot. 18,000 liters. So fertilizer spreader, kind of interesting. I'm surprised it's that small, but it looks like it has a kind of an interesting graphic for spreading, which is kind of cool. So. And then, of course, the Manitou telehandler, which is good. So they're going to have Manitou in with the forklifts, the telehandles, and I don't know if they have a wheel loader too. From what I could tell, there's a couple things they showed, and then they showed some other things as well. So it's shaping up to be a well-rounded game, FS19 actually. So it's going to be pretty awesome to see how it gets done. And then what are we? 27th today, so we're looking at only 3 more weeks until it gets released. So it'll be pretty exciting to see what it actually is like versus the old game. So that'll be the time to get rid of all the old mods and whatnot. I know some people like to switch between FS, it'll be like the previous version of the Farm Simulator and the current version of Farm Sim. I'm just going to go straight to FS19 and not play FS17 anymore, basically, is what I'm going to do. Of course, we'll be missing some mods, and I'm sure everyone will be QQing or crying, whatever you want to call it, because, GPS would be nice to have, and then Courseplay, of course, would be nice to have as well. Although this time around, there was more hype around Courseplay when this FS17 released, saying it would be released, shortly after FS17 was released. So I haven't heard any kind of the same sort of talk around FS19. So I'll be curious to see whether, I assume they're still going to be developing it, but I don't know for sure. I haven't kept up with the chat on it yet, but we shall see what happens with it. Yeah, there'll be a few mods that we'll miss. I know some modders have stopped modding, like Upside Down, the guy who did some of the really cool mods that I really enjoy, like Drive Control mod. He did, what's the other one he did that I really liked? GPS as well. So we'll see if those ones get transported over, or if someone else picks them up, or maybe Farm Sim. Well, Farm Sim should have showed something like that if they had it in the game already. That would have been really cool, but we'll see. I don't know. Lots of things to think about, and I guess, like I said before, it all comes down to you could postulate as much as you like right now and think about what's going to happen, but in reality, you have to wait until it actually happens and then go from there, basically. So that's my feeling, at least. Also, Black Friday's coming up, so I'm keeping an eye out for some computer-related hardware deals, because I'm thinking about replacing this computer, upgrading it. I was surprised actually to see the prices of the RTX graphics cards. They're actually not super expensive. Not as expensive as I expected them to be, so I'll have to take a look at that in comparison to some of the other ones to see what they're like. But from what I can see, the performance on them is pretty good. So the RTX, NVIDIA RTX 2070, 2080s are pretty stellar from what I can see. So I may go that crazy or I may not. I don't know. In reality, all I really play is American Truck Simulator and Farm Sim, so I really don't need to get that crazy. But when you do the recording and the playing, that's when it gets a little crazy. So anyways, folks, that'll be it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed. My name's Iain Robson, and until next time, enjoy the coffee.